Hi. In previous lessons under Module 4, Correct Pronoun Usage, I've already covered 5 of 6 classes of pronouns. So in this particular lesson, I want to focus on our last class of pronouns, which is the class number 6, the interrogative pronoun. So I'm going to focus on that the first part of this particular lesson, and in the second half of the lesson, I'm going to focus on the pronouns who and whom. Now, who and whom causes many problems in student academic writing because students aren't sure when to use the pronoun who and when whom is appropriate in a sentence. So I want to spend a little bit of time towards the end of this lesson going over the differences between who and whom. But first, I want to focus on the 6th class of pronouns, which is the interrogative pronoun. Now, I do have a list of 5 interrogative pronouns, and interrogative pronouns introduce questions. And those interrogative pronouns are who, whose, whom, which, and what. So try to familiarize yourself with those 5 interrogative pronouns as soon as you can. And again, they're self-explanatory because they introduce questions. So these 5 introduce questions. I have example sentences here with all 5 of them in its own question for you to know when to use which pronoun of the 5. Let's look at example number 1. Who can recite the president's name? Who is our interrogative pronoun that introduces this particular question to find out who exactly can recite the president's names. Then we also have example number 2. Whose baseball is this? Whose is our interrogative pronoun that introduces this particular question to find out some information of who the baseball belongs to. Then I have example number 3. To whom are you referring? Whom is our interrogative question that interrogative pronoun, that introduces this particular question. Then I have my 4th one. Which of these pens belongs to you? Which is my interrogative pronoun that introduces this particular question to find out which pen belongs to you. And then I have our 5th interrogative pronoun, what. And the question is, what is your name? What is the interrogative pronoun that introduces the actual question? And if you notice, those 5 interrogative pronouns are very self-explanatory. They don't necessarily cause too much or too many problems in student academic writing, but it was important for me to introduce those to you so you can familiarize yourself with those 5 pronouns. So now I want to change gears and focus on the 2 pronouns who and whom. Now these 2, like I stated before, do cause a lot of issues with student academic writing. Students don't know when who is appropriate in the sentence, and they don't know when whom is appropriate in the sentence. So I want to spend a couple minutes going over who and whom with you so you know when to use both of them in a sentence. So the first one I want to focus on as our pronoun that causes problems is who. And who will take on the subject form. So who is the subject form of the sentence? And we'll learn a little bit later in this lesson that whom, the pronoun whom, takes the object form. But again, let's focus on who in this particular part that takes on the subject form in the sentence. And I have 3 examples that happen to be questions that we need to go over so that can help you focus on who as the subject form. Let's look at example number 1. Who is at the door? Is our verb. Who is our subject? So who is the pronoun that takes on the subject form in this case. Our second example, who is on the roof? Is our verb. Our subject, who or what is, who is. So who is going to be the subject form? So that's going to be our correct pronoun for this particular question. And then we have who is around the corner. Is, again, is our linking verb, and who is our subject of this verb. So again, who takes on the subject form. So who is the subject position? So who will take the subject position in a sentence or in a question in this case? Now let's focus on whom is as the object form. So we have an example here. With whom does Michelle study? And remember I told you our last, in a different module, we focused on prepositional phrases. And prepositional phrases start with a preposition and it ends with a noun. And sometimes it's going to be a pronoun. So we do have a prepositional phrase in this sentence or question. With whom is our prepositional phrase. With is our preposition. Whom is the object of the preposition. So in this case, between who and whom, I need the pronoun whom because I need the object form, and that's whom. Okay? Then our second example, whom did you see yesterday? So whom is the object of the verb did see. You is our subject. You did see whom. So again, we have a direct object in this case. In this particular question, you did see whom. And because I need the object or the direct object in this particular question, I'm going to use the pronoun whom instead of who. So again, it's important for you to know when to use who and when to use whom. Again, who takes on the subject form of the sentence and whom takes the object form. So make sure you familiarize yourself with those differences between who and whom. And as you can see in this particular module, Module 4, on the different classes of pronouns, I have covered all 6 classes for you that do cause issues in formal academic writing. And hopefully with this particular lesson, you won't make those mistakes as often as you have in the past.